Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon, Grand Rising. Good morning, happy happiness. How are you doing? My name is Nikki Scorpio. This is not my real voice. What's up, Nadia? Nice to see you, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love that name. Que chingoneria. What's up? Nice to see you. How are we feeling? What are we doing in our lives? Are we checking in right now, or are we just going to be in autopilot? Let me see. Let me check in. Let me check in. A little bit sleep deprived, flying high, feeling good, waking up, energized, grateful, had a very good phone call, excited, more opportunities for us on the way, more money coming in. Um, Grateful for health, grateful for balance, grateful for having like-minded people. I'm grateful for the fact I'm getting like-minded people because I bear my heart and my soul to you, so you could have people around you who are truthful to you, so you can get used to more people around you who are truthful and transparent to you. Got the fire. What's up, Andy? Nice to see you, broski. Yes. Checking in, stressed. Okay, good, 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 good. So what we do with that information determines where we're going to. So when you have stress and anxiety, there's a point right here. You can tap, just like you're tapping on the screen. You can tap right here. You can tap. Oh, it's so good. And then you go down a little bit. Gotta go lower. You gotta go lower to the belly button. Oh yeah, love that. Amazing. That's a good space for stress right there. And don't do it like you're just going to the Hamptons and just hanging out. Like you're talking about, like, oh, so anyway, Henry and I are reading a new book and we're talking about traveling overseas for this summer. What are you doing? No, like really either like rub it right there. Feels good. You'll feel the tenderness, right? Or tap it. All right. So thank you. I just duetted a really fascinating video that's a different way of what I've been saying for people, and I just want to bring your awareness if you feel any kind of frustration, any kind of stress, any kind of anxiety. And again, thank you for all of you who hop on these live streams on the regular. If you just met me, my name is Nikki Scorpio. I am the introvert that speaks up. Be careful when you say I am, because I am is a powerful statement. That's you telling the world who you are. So if you say I am tired, you get more tiredness. If you say I am awake, then you are that's who you are. That's how you define yourself to the world. Okay, so I'm the introvert that speaks up. I've done a lot spiritually and holistically, many different things: ceremony, shamanism, spirituality, yoga, meditation, therapy, all these different things to learn to love myself more. I share that information with you. All right. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for awareness right now. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this live stream is about how just giving away your anger and your frustration is blocking you. I talked yesterday and let people know that there was going to be anger and frustration showing up. I've seen anger and frustration show up for other people. And one of the things that I want to share with you that's a very, 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 I don't know the content creator's name off the top of my head. However, I highly recommend that you follow the guy and check the video that I just duetted, because one of the things that he talks about is that when you react with people with anger, with impatience, with frustration, with whatever that thing is, what you're doing is you are now agreeing to meet people at that place. You are agreeing, you're beautiful, takes one to know one. You are agreeing, for example, when you get frustrated and somebody puts you down and you react to it, you're now agreeing that's your truth. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that a thought-provoking thought? And if it's not, slow down right now and say, what does that mean? What that means, what that means is that, for example, if you went to a restaurant, or let's say if you went to like a juice bar or something like that, and you ordered like a smoothie, and if somebody said, "Hey, I got an order for a peanut butter sandwich," you wouldn't respond. You wouldn't react to it because that's not yours. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Grammy Sue? You wouldn't think twice about it, because you would be looking for somebody who had a smoothie and you would be paying attention for that. So in that same way, when people tell you that you're stupid or that you're wrong or that you're dumb or that you're ignorant or that you're uninformed or whatever, what you're doing by even reacting to them is saying, this is now my truth. I now agree to this statement. I acknowledge that there's a possibility that this exists, And so now we're going to move forward in this world, and you've just created a timeline, and that's a different version of manifesting. Like, you're creating that, you're manifesting the chaos, you're choosing to react to it, choosing to acknowledge its existence. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that a fascinating concept? Different ways for us to start realizing what we're choosing and what we're giving attention to. If you have any questions, please put them in the question mark box. And by the way, I'm streaming on different live stream services, so that's for people on TikTok. But definitely, if you have any questions, put them in the other. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're getting into YouTube, we're getting into Twitch, um, and we're moving forward. I feel like I might need to go into noise canceling mode right now. My voice is going to change up just a little bit because, kids, for every problem, there's a solution. Do 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 do. What if we could just do this? What if your Aunt Janice was like, "Oh my God, I don't like that you're into meditation. Jesus never meditated." And you know that Jesus meditated and talked about it. So you just go like this. Interesting. Anyway, moving forward in our lives. So maybe you can still hear her a little bit. You're just tuned out a little bit more. Isn't that fascinating? Don't we love that? Don't we love that? All right. So this is going to pause 1 second. Thank you. All right. So I've talked about anger before. I've talked to people about anger, and they still don't get it sometimes. They still react and give all their power away. Anger and impatience are powerful things. They're powerful tools. They're powerful emotions. And I want for you to understand that, like, when you react with anger, when you're frustrated at situations, when you have big anger, when you have a lot of impatience, you're blocking so many opportunities. You still have, some people still have this idea that, like, you have to hustle and you have to move really really quickly, and it's going to feel difficult to slow down sometimes. For some people it's going to feel really difficult to slow down. However, if you're somebody who you feel like you already slowed down and you're still unhappy, you're not moving slow enough. Because I used to have automatic reactions and autopilot responses. I used to automatically go to a place of, like, being closed off, thinking that it was corny or cheesy when people would have a lot of energy or a lot of happiness, or if they were perky or something like that, that I would look at them and just be like, this is corny, like, this is off, right? Hey, what's up? What's up, Emily? Nice to see you. Thank you. And then I realized logically, factually, by me slowing down, that I was like, how am I ever going to be around successful, happy people if I'm looking at people that look happy and I'm judging them? So I want for you to start looking at your life in terms of, like, when you go to reactions, that you're now, what you're doing, like, you're in your car, you're in your vehicle, and then all of a sudden somebody says you're stupid, and then you even acknowledge that right now in a way where you defend yourself, or you say, hey, like, that you're not, like, setting a boundary or just moving forward. That what you're doing when you're choosing that conversation is you are now redirecting your car. You're now going down that path of, somebody thinks that I'm stupid and I'm going to give this attention. There's a lot of different ways to communicate. There's a lot of different ways to move in that kind of energy. One thing that you're not going to do when you react to negativity and anger and fear with the sense of defending yourself, one thing that you're not going to do is create opportunities that take you to where you want to go. Thank you. Used to go for others, but now if I go any slower, I've been moving backwards. Word. So I'm noticing even within my life that, like, I get frustrated. I definitely get frustrated. The difference is, what I realize now is, some people only know how to be frustrated. And people will literally listen to my words and rock with what I'm saying, and like, they still get impatient, and they still get frustrated, and they still keep on going down that path. And then they go to this place of I don't like how people talk to me. I don't like how people communicate with me. It annoys me. It frustrates me that people don't understand me. And it's residue, it's mildew of I'm not understood. I'm telling you, when you know who you are, like people can't tell you anything. I got you. Thank you for double tapping on the screen. Tapping on the screen helps bring more people into this algorithm. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for everybody who's following. And again, my name is Nikki Scorpio. I'm the introvert that speaks up. I teach people to go more internal. I teach emotional intelligence. I teach people that they're powerful, that they don't need to, if anything, we don't need to acknowledge that other people don't like us. If anything, like I want for you to be more yourself. I want for you to be more yourself. I want for you to be more you. I want for you to wake up and have your excitement. And if other people don't match your energy, you don't have to respond and react to it. You really don't. Like you can just sit there and acknowledge that people are talking with you, and you can just hold space and not nod your head. You can put protective energy around yourself. You can talk to that person's higher self and say, "This is inappropriate. Stop talking to me this way," without even moving your lips. Right, exactly. Beanos just said that people can only meet you at their level of consciousness. So that's the thing to understand. It's a really tricky conversation if you've had family in your life, if you've had people in your life who have been mean spirited to you, who have been nasty to you, narcissistic to you. It's a challenging conversation sometimes because we've already created a whole profile of like how that relationship is. In our minds, it's like mom's been this way, my grandma, my grandpa has been this way, my dad, if you have a dad, has been this way or that way, and they don't listen to me and they're this way and they're that way. And so like it's time to let all of that go and just be a blank canvas right now and understand that when people are putting you down or when you get frustrated, man, you are always in control. You're always a person who's in control. You're always the person who has the final say. And nothing in life is worth stopping your momentum to respond to another person who puts you down or tells you that you're dumb, or like if you're in a temporary frustration, it doesn't make sense to have such a gigantic reaction to it when in 2 days or 3 days you're not even going to remember it. Momentum is a gigantic part of manifesting. The reason if you're not getting to where you want to go is because you have your anger and your impatience and your frustration and you're just on autopilot. Like you're just going for the sake of going. And we as human beings, we give away so much power. And when I travel, when I'm moving around right now, when I'm observing people, like yo, people just get frustrated and they just don't even think about it. And there's more effort required to have like balance in your life emotionally. There's more effort required to do it right now, more than ever. I love that. I love that, baby 510. Are you from the Bay Area? I was born and raised in the Bay Area. That 510 area code, nickel and dime. Yo, some people, let me see. What are you doing? Oh, you're putting blood, you're putting Jesus's blood all over me. Thank you. Love that. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yay area. Hey, I love that. All right. So do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that like people are in autopilot mode right now? Do you get that? How am I doing today? I'm on fire. I definitely was a little bit tired. However, when I hang out with you, all of a sudden I get fired up. The reason why things are not clicking for you is because you still have this thing of like, I'm in a good mood until somebody does something or something happens. And again, like I'm not telling you, like I was talking with somebody yesterday and they were saying like the concept of fake it till you make it is like when you put a pencil or a pen in your mouth and you just go like this, or like when you actually smile, that like your brain's like, oh, we're happy right now. Oh, amazing. That's a good tactic. Like that you can actually, there's research behind that, that when you smile, that your brain actually thinks you're in a good mood, which is more along the lines of that conversation of your mind, it doesn't know the difference when you're talking about a circumstance and when you're actually in that circumstance. Oh, you were doing 5150. Can we talk about something right now? Can we talk about the power of words? And if you're somebody who has, I want to say this. I want to say this because as an artist, I have had a different artist name where there was like a negative connotation into it. 5150. What you're doing, what you're putting out there into the world with some people's usernames, respectfully, I love you. I care about you. I care about you. I get it. There's no I'm not judging you. What I'm saying is consider this. That like when we have usernames where we say like chaos or little psycho or anything with a negative connotation that defines who we are, like there's so much power in words. Like when you're saying that when you're advertising 5150, you're saying that you're a danger to yourself and to other people. And again, there's no judgment in this family. I'm telling you factually, like consider the subconscious belief of that. And people roll their eyes and you might say like, no, that doesn't apply. I'm telling you, I did a tremendous amount of like no tutors, no mentors, no information, no guides. Literally had to pick myself up to be like, yo, like I'm so deep in the frustration, the depression, the anger, the chaos, the only hanging out with depressing people, the only hanging out with people who are like this, that like the level of effort it took for me when I actually got around successful people was mind blowing. I highly recommend if you have any kind of negative connotation in your username or anything like that to consider or like just listen to where your mind says about yourself. Like we're used to it. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're used to being frustrated. We're used to being let down. And like if we get around too much happiness, this doesn't apply to everybody. What I'm saying is sometimes people get around too much joy or too much happiness and they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. I want for you to get to this space where you actually like fully receive what it's like to be able to travel, what it's like to be able to be around intelligent, well-spoken people who really care about themselves. Because I didn't this I learned this in my relationship. I learned this. And I didn't really, all I had to do was just go online and look up ceremonies and look up healing and look up shaman and look up meditation and pay a lot of money to go to events and to get teachers and mentors and stuff that like nobody ever taught me. And when you really start hanging out with successful people, you will watch yourself either rise to the occasion or you will watch yourself destroy it. That's why I want for you to get this. I want for you to understand like how you do one thing is how you do everything. And whatever you are connecting to, that's your path. So if any way, shape, or form you have anything in your life and in your language that gives attention and gives validation to like my life is hard and so I'm a more authentic person. I'm struggling right now when I'm serious and people don't understand me. Like I don't care if they say like you have resting bit you know what face. That like yes, part of that is because we're an introvert. Part of that is because we're in our head. Another part of that is because that's a layer of who we are and how we define ourselves. And we're not even questioning it. If you have any questions, put the questions in the question mark box, please. Listen, if you disagree with me, let me know. If you're triggered by what I'm saying, no, like I'm telling you, I've been about my life. And if anybody tried to tap in to get access to my vulnerability, my story, I would immediately shut it down. And I would only get attracted to people with problems because when you grow up as a man without a father, you're constantly looking for a strong male figure to find out how it is to be a man. And so like I was constantly being attracted to drama and to chaos. And the relationships that I would get into were people who had problems, who needed to be fixed. Like I'm some savior, like weird like place where my mind would go to. Versus when you get around somebody who's loving, who's nurturing, who's kind, who's caring, it feels weird. It feels crazy. It doesn't feel right. It feels cringy. It feels awkward. Yeah, if you want to connect with me, definitely right there. Where you see the VTP logo right there. If you want to do like a 5, 10, 15 minute call with me, and you get cool access to cool emojis that I created, tap that star up there by Yo Nikki Scorpio. Tap that. Send me a message either on Instagram or on the Discord, which is More Friends and More Family. That's $6, and we can have a conversation. Let's go. I want for you to get this. I want for you to understand. Like, I've dedicated my life to figuring out how to communicate with people to say, like, again, if you just met me, my thing is I don't think that I'm better than other people. I'm not telling you to live my way. I'm not telling you to do what I do. I'm saying consider the reason why you're frustrated is because you are defined by pain. You are defined by anger. You are defined by being very serious. You're defined by being in your head way more. And if any of that resonates, it's your journey, baby. It's your journey. That's the journey. That's the shadow work. That's the good stuff. That's how I can be around anybody. Like, I can be in the craziest scenarios. Like yesterday, the energy in the live stream was so wild because like we're going into like two worlds at the same time. My electronics, yo, who drop an emoji of yesterday like your electronics were glitching and tripping out? Because I was having multiple issues and problems and frustrations and was just like, what in the world? Like, the energy was so crazy yesterday. Hey, thank you thank you to let me see. Thank you, Fran Shepherds, for this subscription. Thank you. You think they're glitching today? Yeah, yo, it was bonkers. I'm like, how? Like, yo, I was sending a text message to somebody who was doing a one-on-one with me, and my text messaging was like, error, you can't send messages. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, Amanda too. Thank you for the subscription, for real. Thank you. I appreciate you. Make sure that you either message me on Instagram or message me on join the Discord. That's free. Okay, so I like that you're aware of that. You say I need to rest after yesterday. So are you going to listen to that and set aside time and give yourself that time? You say the joy is in the work. The joy is in the work. Yes, the joy is in the work. However, for people who go to a place of I've already worked enough, I don't want to work, I'm tired. How do I say this? Like, if you feel tired and there's nobody around in order for you to have more energy, it's on you to get to the place to get yourself out of that position. And one of the things that it took me a while to realize, I'm glitching on your phone. That's because we're ascending right now. We're leveling up. One of the things that I wish that I had known earlier during this process of leveling up, of inner child work, of developing different relationships, is that the people that you want to connect with want to see that you have some form of optimism, that you have some kind of perspective where like you have your spirit. People can see your sadness, right? Like, if you look into my eyes, can you see any sadness? Can you see any stuff? Like, what do you see? I like to do this from time to time. What do you see when you look into my eyes? What do you see? Old soul, love, see yourself, word, love that, love that. Wisdom, strength, pure heart. You see a kid, the healing, word, content, kindness, calmness. You have been hurt and healing, pain. Right. So what's interesting is, without even realizing it, because you've had pain, it's not a negative thing, it's a human thing. People connect with that subconsciously. So this is where knowing yourself and knowing your mind. Here, I'm just gonna do this. If there's any background noise, I'm gonna go back into silence mode. It's just sometimes I like that noise canceling mode. There's construction stuff going on right here. Um, also a dope soul with swag. Thank you. Takes one to know one. They're like, if you're constantly in a place where you feel frustrated. Yeah, yeah. Okay. See, I know some people are noise sensitive. We're just gonna do that. We're just gonna rock this way. We're just gonna make that happen. There's solutions for every problem. One of the things, actually, you know what you should look up? Does anybody get triggered or frustrated with sound and noises? Like when you hear something like with fire trucks or something, do you plug your ears? Yes. Okay. Have you ever heard of the concept of a highly sensitive person? Look up HSP. Look up HSP. Look it up. Highly sensitive person. Look that up. Do research on that. I'm teaching you how to fish. I'm not going to give you the fish and say, here you go. Now take the fish and do it this way. And hey, everybody, today we're learning how to fish. No, no, it's just saying, okay, like look this up, do the work so that you get it for yourself if that resonates. I think it's somewhere in the 20% of people are highly sensitive people. So look that up. Okay. So how do I say this? If if you know, like, I feel like it's time for us to study our reactions more. I want for you to study your reactions more focused. Like, I really want for you to look to see, like, is it hard for me? Is it difficult for me to have happiness, to truly be happy, to truly be content? Like, is that difficult? Does that feel impossible for me? Because if that's the case, then like I really want for you to consider just being more in solitude and being more with yourself and slowing down and being more in your head. You know how they say get out of your head? No. Get into your mind and listen to yourself, listen to your brain. And I'm telling you, what I do is I literally talk to myself. Like if my brain says, oh no, people are judging me, then I will literally catch that and say, no, every single person in here loves you as you are. And if people are looking at you and they're judging you, they're not your people. And I'm like, okay. And I just make that truth. Love that. Love that you're able to rest. Love that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like this presentation, this wasn't wasn't who I was for a long time. Because after 12 years old, I went from Nikki, I went to Nick, and Nick was very serious, and Nick had to be serious, and Nick didn't want to be alive, and Nick got bullied and teased, and Nick got put down and attacked. His character got attacked and got around narcissistic friends, got into an abusive relationship. And then I got to the place where I was like, no, like Nikki, the younger version of me, I didn't take that. I didn't like that. I moved around that. Like I was born in certain dramatic and chaotic and miscommunication type energy. However, like that's why I'm so adamant about you just realizing where your mind's going to, because the level of effort that's required sometimes to get joy, to stay in a joyous place is tremendous. Like there's times in my life on the regular where I'm around people who just don't match my energy. They just don't match it. They just don't get it. They like my energy. They just don't know what to do with it. They don't think like how I think. And it is frustrating. Like I get frustrated. The difference is I go back to gratitude when I get frustrated, because why in the world should I complain about my life? Who am I to complain? I'm chilling. It's my office. Any advice on dealing with the sociopath family member that you have to deal with? Yeah, just stop responding to people. Like, just give them the path of least resistance. Like, just move forward and answer questions like you're like, be non-emotional, be non-reactive. If they ask you something, just give them the yes response, give them the factual response. Look at them as a teacher, look at them as a trainer. Being non-emotional is going to help you get better people in business, better people in your life, better circumstances in your life. Like, learn the art of being non-emotional and non-reactive, because remember this every single time. And I'm telling you, look at the video that I just duetted when you get like a minute or a minute and a half or however long it is. It's such, this guy says it so eloquently. Like, whatever, I'm paraphrasing, like, whatever you give attention to, that's now your agreement. When you go to anger, you're now agreeing with what that person's energy, that negative energy, that anger energy, that frustration. I love how many conversations going on these live streams at once. Thank you for those of you who support and rock with me. Thank you for those of you who book one-on-ones with me. If you like this conversation, connect with me. Connect with me. I was in a relationship where, I tried so many different approaches to have a peaceful relationship, to have consistent peace, to have consistent, like, let's communicate with each other, let's level each other up, let's nurture each other, and it just was never good enough, and it was never good enough and never good enough. And that's why I'm so on fire for you, because there are some people in your life where the person's like, how do I deal with this person? You move forward. You look at them and they're telling you, when you level up, when you get a job, even if you don't like that job, if you just have extra money so you can afford a room where you're not around that person, and start looking at places and get yourself in a setup where you're not around that kind of energy, like, your whole world will change. The whole reason why I'm doing this right now is because I got out of that relationship. And again, like, I wanted for it to work. I wanted it to. It's just sometimes people are teachers. If you have a narcissistic, sociopathic, whatever kind of person in your life, they are going to continue driving you crazy. What if you have to live with them? Then set boundaries. Don't respond and react to what they say when they say something stupid. If they say something that's a flat out lie, say, okay, I acknowledge what you're saying. That's not how it occurs to me. Can you write that down in your notes? I acknowledge what you're saying. That's not how it occurs to me. And if they keep on putting you down and saying negative stuff, well, you got to set boundaries. And stop being, or consider to change the perspective on, like, I can't afford to live anywhere else. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I have to live here. I have to take, okay, sometimes we have to take care of people because nobody else is and we're doing an honorable thing. However, the more frustrating your situation is, the more of a teacher they are. The more difficult your life is, the more powerful of a teacher you are. Boundaries are hard for me. Yo, I heard this guy named Nikki Scorpio has an ebook that's $8. And it's taking 10 years of a relationship that was abusive around somebody who was like a dark empath, a professional gaslighter, right? We're not shaming people. It's just like, man, like, it was just a lot of twists and turns. I wrote a book, Learning How to Set Boundaries, because boundaries were boring and structure and discipline for me before. And then I learned boundaries are actually the most exciting thing, because you're able to learn how, like, rules to your life. You're making the rules by setting boundaries. You're saying, no, 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 I get that. I get that you're angry. I understand that you're angry. I acknowledge that you're angry. However, I'm not responsible for your reaction. I love you. I care about you. I don't think that I'm better than you. I'm not responsible for your reaction in the same way. Here's how you shut it down. In the same way, you're not responsible for mine. Like, right now, like, I'm triggered. I don't like how I feel. You're not responsible for that. That is my own doing. That's my own choosing. I'm not responsible for your frustration. If you want to communicate with me and let me know what the problem is, we can talk. However, if it's just going to be, you don't like me, I love myself. I'm not ashamed of myself. And I like to have conversations with people who understand that. So thank you for understanding that. Do you see? Like, where can they go from there? You see how it shuts it down? And if they keep on bulldozing and bulldozing, just say, all right, cool, I'm going into another room. I love you. This isn't it for us. I love you. I'm gonna react to this, and I'm gonna get drained, and you're gonna get drained. I love you. My trigger, my frustration right now with your communication has nothing to do with you. I'm gonna go figure out why I'm triggered, and actually, like, thank you for bringing this up, because, like, clearly this is some insecurity that comes from my childhood. So thank you for understanding that. Like, shut it down. Where do I get the book? Tap the link in my bio. At the bottom part, you're going to see the ebook. It's a PDF file. You take that with you for the rest of your life and share that with everybody. I'm telling you. And after you look at it, after you read it, if you have any questions, hit me up. Message me on Instagram. Join the Discord. Hit me up. We'll talk about it. I want to make sure you get it. Do you see how that conversation with narcissistic people, with abusive people, like, where can they go from there? Like, you're taking full 100% ownership. I'm frustrated right now. That has nothing to do with you. Or you can say things like, hey, it looks like you're upset. It's us versus the problem. I clearly don't know what's going on and why you're frustrated. Help me understand. Communicate with me. I know that it's not always easy. However, I can see that you're frustrated, and I care about you, and I want to know what the solution is, what you feel like the solution is. Help me understand. Communicate with me, please, because I don't know what's going on. I'm unaware. So thank you for understanding that. What can they do? They'll look like a jerk if they bulldoze over that, if they override that. Like, what can they say? Why are they mean? Because they're hurt, because they're wounded, because they're damaged, because you're a step ahead of them, and they don't have the wisdom and the knowledge that you have. That's why I'm telling you, you're the leader. Tell your story, storyteller. The other day I created a problem, then expected clear communication from the other person, a mess. Well, there you go. And for me, if I became aware that I created a problem, the first thing that I would do after I felt the frustration and the annoyance, that's where I apologize. I don't apologize a lot. When I do apologize, it's because I overreacted. I hold myself accountable. I can have that conversation. I need to move into this shade right now. Are we good? I just want to be kind of mindful because I come from the land of the cloud people. And so I will just back away, but it's hard to hold things in, as maybe they need to learn. What I would say everything where we're frustrated is an us problem and an us solution. So instead of just it's healthy to, like, step away from it. What I would say is, like, go into another room, do breathing exercises, do tapping. Again, tapping right here helps with anxiety. You can look up different tapping methods. You can do a meditation with your eyes open or your eyes closed. Like, you have options. Thank you. You have options in your life. And it's just being able to understand that and to say, like, okay, I've gone through this experience. What do I do with this information now that I'm aware that I've gone through it? What do I do now? Am I just going to be frustrated at this person, or am I going to be the leader? How would you want for people to treat you if you were hurting? And your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, it doesn't matter if they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. You're looking at a child, a damaged child, a wounded child who never took the time to process their emotions. The reason why you're struggling to accept past mistakes is because there's no such thing as struggle, and there's no such thing as mistakes. Everything is character building. That's the hustle of codependency. That's the hustle of abandonment. It's a hustle, my friend. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. That's why you don't like the things that you've done, is because nobody ever told you that you're building character. It's honorable. Yeah, let me rotate over this way a little bit. It's a little bit hot. Right, there's no mistakes, there's only lessons. So if you treat people the way that you were treated, The question that I would have for you is, have you actually sat down? Now that you're aware of it because this conversation provokes thought. When I say stuff like that, I go to a place of, ooh, that is not a good belief about myself. That is not going to take me anywhere where I want to go. So how do I become hyper aware of this? Where absolutely, you don't make mistakes, you make changes, you learn lessons. There's no such thing as failure. Everything that we don't like about life is an internal thing. And you're going to start to realize, like, I literally had to come up with the model for myself of backwards and forwards. One second, I got to pick this thing up here. I had to like completely and totally psych myself out. When I would have thoughts that had negative connotations to them, or if I thought like people don't like me, I would actually go up to that person and ask them for the time. If I felt like somebody was judging me because of my outfit, I would ask them directions for how to move around and just see if it was me in my head or if they were actually judging me. And it was surprising for me to see how much I was in my head judging myself and putting myself down. This is why we have a difficult time making friends. Hey, thank you, Michelle, for the gifts. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love that people recognize. I'm telling you, man. Like this stuff, when I'm telling you, if you actually sit down with it and actually marinate with it and meditate with it and really like sit down and think about what I'm talking about and don't just let it go in one ear and out the other because it temporarily feels good, but actually sit down with it and get curious about where your mind goes to. Like people are so out of their minds right now. Every restaurant is like understaffed. People are overworked. People are frustrated that they're not getting work. They're thinking about their finances every single step of the way. They're not communicating with people because they're frustrated and they're scared and they're nervous. And like there's more effort required to be a human being with peace right now. However, do the work so that you're not scrambling. Thank you. I'm doing what I can to bring this into the mainstream. So that's why I appreciate everybody who does book time with me, who does donate, who does double tap the screen, who just hangs out and just shows up. Like we're doing this collectively. We're doing this so we can have these conversations in society. Like it's crazy how much effort people put into showing other people that they're okay when you're not okay. We're gonna go all the way back into silent mode because I don't deal with that. I don't deal with it. It doesn't align. You feel something's wrong with you because other people exist on planet Earth. And that's the work, that's the shadow work. Anytime we are frustrated with our circumstances, give yourself like 3 minutes to really here's a challenge for you. Give yourself 3 minutes to fully feel your full frustration all the way through, to like really roar it out, to be really frustrated, to be really aggravated, or maybe it's 5 minutes, but like set a timer with yourself to say, I'm annoyed, I'm ticked off, I don't like how I feel. Let me really just be like all the way like, oh, this person is so stupid. I can't believe they blah 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 blah. Like feel that all the way through, acknowledge it, and then stop for a second. Let me see this comment. Let me see. Thank you. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate you. No accidents, absolutely. We're here to level up and we're here to keep on growing and moving past other people's stuff. I'm telling you, thank you. Thank you, Alejandra. Thank you. Shout out to all the moms and all the parents up in here. I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, people are going to continue to be frustrated. People are going to continue to be how they're going to be over and over and over and over again. So what I'm doing by changing my perspective on things and by giving myself more time is I'm not falling for other people's negative energy and negative beliefs and whatever. Like I'm good with other people. I'm good with like I can you can put me in any position around any kind of person. Some people like me, some people don't. It's just going to be that way. That's just how it's going to be. It's not a shameful or a negative thing. It's just some people really like me, love what I do, and other people don't. It's fine. It's all good. And the same thing for you. And if you're around other circumstances that you don't like why are you there? It's about being able to slow down and be like, thank God I can afford a place to live. Thank God that I have a roof over my head. Like, thank goodness that I have an actual job where I can pay rent, regardless of when I'm paying it or what my rent is. You want to change your circumstances. You want more things in your life, and you're frustrated for your current circumstances. You get what I'm saying? Do you get that? Does that resonate? Do you get what I'm talking about? Have you thought about that in a while? If you've been complaining and frustrated about your life, like somebody would trade places with you in a heartbeat. And that's not some guilty or shameful thing. It's a fact. And at the same time, like listen to yourself. If you have frustrating energy, do something about it. I'm doing something about it.